Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk. So instead of doing the 5 records, 5 minutes thing this week, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Based on the poll, I am going to do something with the help of ChatGPT. So some artificial intelligence has been entered in to the discussion. And so we're also going to be showing and telling because I'm better at showing records and I'm actually telling you about the music on the records. So I'm going to do the show. ChatGPT is going to tell me what to tell you about the record. And we're going to focus on the idea of 7-inch vinyl records. Is it better to have a large hole or a small hole? And should I dink a small hole into a large hole if I have a record with such an option? So first I'm going to tell you what ChatGPT's opinion is on it, then show you a few records from the 60s where sometimes it's small, sometimes it's large. I've got one that's been dinked. So ChatGPT tells you the size of a hole in a 7-inch vinyl record does not affect the sound quality of the recording. The hole size is a design choice made by the record label when the record is produced and is intended to match the size of the spindle on the turntable being used to play the record. A standard 7-inch record typically has a large hole, which is approximately 1 1/4 inch in diameter. I'm pretty sure it's actually 1.5, not 1 1/4. Some 7-inch records have a small center hole, which is approximately 3/4 an inch in diameter. Again, I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I think it's like a 1/4 inch, or it might be slightly more or slightly less than that. But I think there's some factual inaccuracies from ChatGPT. And then it goes on to say the small center hole was often used on records produced for use in jukeboxes, as it was easier for the mechanical arm on the jukebox to engage with the small center hole, which seems to be the complete opposite, at least in America. The large holes were dominant for 7-inch records, many of which were used in jukeboxes. And a lot of what I've read is that the large hole is much better for preventing against undue wear and wobbling in a jukebox situation. So I'm not a little bit unsure about ChatGPT. It is not recommended to dink a small hole into a large hole, as this can cause damage to the record and potentially affect its sound quality. I know Sean of Many Names and Mac I Biled Records Stevens will disagree, because I know they're both proponents of the dink. If you have a turntable that only accommodates small center holes, it's best to purchase records that were produced with a small center hole, or to purchase an adapter that can be placed over the large center hole to make it the proper size for your turntable. So let me go get my adapter. So look, I have an adapter that I bought, and most turntables will come with an adapter. You can buy an adapter on the aftermarket. You can buy those little plastic spiders, a bunch of them, and have one inside each of your records. They're not that hard to come by. I guess you could get one of those old school RCA turntables from the late 40s, early 50s that only has the large center hole that you're supposed to stack on. Because I know the original large hole, small hole was the whole late 40s RCA 45 versus Columbia 33 format wars. But now let's do some show and tell of some records. And so again, I'm going to do the showing and ChatGPT is going to do the telling. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more accurate than it was with some of the factual information. So I'm going to start off. So this is a British pressing of the Spencer Davis group, Somebody Help Me. And so according to Jet, and you can see this is Small Hole, Undinked. Somebody Help Me is a song by the English pop group the Spencer Davis Group. It was released as a single in 1966 and appears on the band's album Gimme Some Lovin'. The song was written by Steve Winwood, Spencer Davis, and Muff Winwood, and was a hit in the UK, reaching the top 10 in the charts. Somebody Help Me is an upbeat R&B influenced track with a driving beat and catchy melody. The song features Steve Winwood's powerful, soulful vocals, and Spencer Davis's distinctive guitar playing. Its lyrics express a desperate plea for help, with the narrator begging someone to come to his aid and rescue him from his troubles. And that certainly sounds a lot more accurate than the information about the size of holes in 7-inch records. Now, here's another record. This is from the American psychedelic rock band, the Electric Prunes. And so I have that Sheila. Yeah, I have. I have Sheila's copy, and so this is a large hole made for the American audience. And in fact, most of the 45s I own, especially stuff made in the 80s and prior that are American pressings, almost always have large holes. It's a little bit more hit and miss whether it's large hole or small hole with modern day 7-inch records. So I asked ChatGPT to tell me about this Electric Prune song. I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night is a song by the American rock band The Electric Prunes. It was released as a single in 1966 and appears on the band's debut album, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night. It's a classic example of the psychedelic rock song sound that was popular in the mid-1960s. The song features soaring ethereal vocals, lush harmonies, and a driving beat, as well as distinctive otherworldly sounding effects like backward guitar solos and echo-laden vocals. Its lyrics describe a dreamlike state, with the narrator telling the story of a vivid and surreal dream that he had. And I realize, again, ChatGPT a lot of times sounds like it's basically sort of paraphrasing Wikipedia sort of information. And then the last record I'm going to show today, so this is somebody before me. I don't know if it was Judy or somebody else, but somebody dinked this Lonnie Donegan, Pick a Bale of Cotton. And so let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this record. So Pick a Bale of Cotton is a traditional folk song that was popularized by Scottish skiffle musician Lonnie Donegan. Donegan recorded the song in 1956, and it became one of his biggest hits, reaching the top 10 in the UK singles charts. The song is a lively, upbeat tune that was performed in Donegan's distinctive skiffle style, which combines elements of blues, folk, and jazz. Pick a Bale of Cotton is a work song and was originally sung by African-American slaves as they worked in the cotton fields of the southern United States. The song's lyrics describe the grueling labor of picking cotton, with the singer imploring the listener to pick a bale of cotton and keep working despite the difficulties and hardships. The song has a catchy, infectious melody and is characterized by its upbeat, toe-tapping beat and energetic, rhythmic vocals. And so I think it does a little bit better of a job with that, because it's probably just finding something on the internet talking about these songs and spitting it back at you, whereas it's obviously you have issues like, is the large hole or small hole better? And I'm sure, like, if you go to the Hoffman forums, you're going to find people arguing one way or the other. You're going to find information, you're going to find disinformation, and so ChatGPT is sometimes reporting the disinformation rather than the information. So artificial intelligence isn't all that yet. What's my take on it? I would be interested in like an A/B test of dinked versus undinked, if you could ever get a situation where it's not comparing apples against oranges. I actually like the aesthetics of the small hole better than the large hole, and I kind of like the look of these British singles, because I'm so used to the big hole American that this is a little bit exotic, a little bit different, and I don't really want to dink it, so I don't think I'm going to dink any of my British singles. Sorry, Sean. But I could understand why some people would choose to do that, and certainly the reason why songs usually sound better on a 45 than they do on the 33 LP album.